Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Film Vice. I would like to take a second right now just to apologize for our lack of episodes. We are back and we are trying to get out episodes as quickly as possible, hopefully once a week or once every other week. So just keep an eye out for our new episodes. They will be advertised on our Facebook and Instagram as soon as they come out. But for this week, we have something a little different. We have our B-movie enthusiast on the podcast with myself. And if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you'll know every Monday we have a B-movie of the week, just a short review about a B-movie. And our critic is joining me on the podcast this episode. We also discuss, after getting to know our B-movie critic, we discuss Planes, Trains, and Automobiles remake, as well as Bill and Ted Face the Music on Netflix's new Shuffle feature, and Jensen Ackles being casted as Soldier Boy in The Boys Season 3. We also discuss our actor spotlight of the week, which is Russell Crowe, in honor of his new movie Unhinged. So once again, thank you guys for listening, and we do appreciate it, and we do hope you enjoy this episode. So welcome everybody to the Film Vice. It's been about 2 months, I believe, or so, maybe 2.5 since our last episode. So we're going to try something a little different. Today I have our B-movie critic consultant, however you may want to have your title. But if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, you'll know that every Monday we have a B-movie of the week. And today I have our B-movie critic with us, Adrian.
Hi. B-movie critic. Much more of a B-movie enthusiast, less so much of a critic, because I just love B-movies.
That sounds way better than what I put.
But hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. Well, I mean, I guess that's what a review is in essence, is a critique. But so I need to get more harsh with my reviews because so far I've been very favorable, but I just really like the movies that I've been stumbling across.
Yeah, that's why you have that freedom to pick the movies that you like. But I mean, even to that, like, I think what was it? I think it was our second one, the one with the guy. I don't remember what it was called.
So I did VFW was first with the older gentleman, and that one was awesome. What was the second one that I did?
Because I don't remember what it was called, but
No, Dave Made a Maze was third. Head count I just did, and now I'm blanking on the one. Oh, that's right. Oh man,
it's like right on the tip of my tongue.
What about the guy with the girlfriend and this crazy monster that like comes towards the end, and I don't something midnight. Below midnight, before midnight, maybe before midnight, right. with the heart on the poster and that crazy monster on it.
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
I was like, I don't know, you're kind of proving my point that you were kind of harsher on that one. We can't even remember what it was called.
I can't remember what it was called, but like that one was good. It had a lot of buildup. Like I kind of started to because there's like a group of townspeople that are like, this guy's just crazy. He thinks he's seeing monsters. He's nuts. And then I'm like 45 minutes in and I'm like, this guy's bonkers. Nothing is happening. After midnight. It's called After Midnight, not Before Midnight, although I was close. And then at the end, it's got a strong ending. It does have a strong ending.
Not too memorable, though.
No. I remembered all the others, and that one I could not remember.
Yeah, you named them all, but not that one. I did feel like you were a little bit like taken with that one. Like you could only hold so much until I guess the climactic scenes started happening and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's what
like
I got from your review.
there's only so much you could cover before you're like telling everybody exactly what happened. So that's one of the big things with these reviews is that I have to give you enough to like maybe interest you enough to watch it, but I have to make sure I'm not giving you everything. Otherwise, like, why watch it? I have to pique you, but I can't like ruin it.
That's the
If that makes sense.
perfect way, I think. Because I know every time, because I don't watch a lot of B movies, but every time I see the reviews that you put up, I usually always go and at least watch the trailer. I might watch one of them at work, but I'll for sure, like, as soon as you put up your little review, I'll look up the trailer on YouTube, and I'm just like, oh, that seems interesting. Like, I wouldn't even have probably clicked on that movie, like, ever.
That would have been a good one. There was one, I think it was VFW that my sister actually read the trailer and she's like, I don't watch scary movies, but I'd watch this one. I was like, thanks. That's so nice. I don't think she watched it though.
Maybe not, depending on what
She
sister
just
it is,
told
I
me.
guess.
Oh, it was Ariel.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you know
Yeah,
that
I
one.
kind of know that one. I kind of know that one. So, some info on Adri, that she is my sister-in-law. Ariel is my wife.
She wanted to make sure that I put that out there the first 10 minutes of the podcast that
I'm
Paul
just
is
not
married to
talking to some
Ariel.
random girl.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Text Ariel. Done and done.
But just a little bit about you. I had some questions that I wanted to throw at you.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie or movies? Because I know myself, I have um, a lot of favorite movies, not so much just one I can pick.
Yeah. That's always a difficult question when people ask, "What's your favorite movie?" Even just like friends or first dates. You're like, "Oh gosh, one movie?" Um so I have a lot of different favorite movies because I like a lot of different types of genres. Um those of you who know me, I'm huge into horror films. Love horror films. Also love musicals, which is not exactly the two that you would find together, but I would say my favorite movie um, it's this movie from 1982, the year I was born. It's an animated film called The Last Unicorn, and that's always my go-to favorite movie. Not only because it's animated and I was a kid when I would watch it, but also as an adult. It's like the animation itself is super creepy. Like if you were to watch it in some type of inebriated fashion, it's just a really freaky movie in animated sense. Also, Alan Arkin is the voice of the Wizard back in 1982. So it's got Jeff Bridges, Alan Arkin, and Mia Farrow, and these are like big names that turn big later. But in the beginning, it was just these random people. Alan Arkin doesn't even sound like Alan Arkin in this movie.
That's what I
It's
was
one of
wondering.
my
I was like, does
favorites.
he
It's
still
so great.
sound the same? Because I think I only really know him as older Alan Arkman than younger.
Older, if he's got the same like cadence, you can tell it's Alan Arkin based on the timing of how he speaks. Like you can be like, "Oh, that's a very Alan Arkin cadence," but his voice is so young that you can't really like if I didn't know that that's Alan Arkin from like the cast, I would have no idea. But it's so funny. You should watch it again knowing that it's Alan Arkin like I did recently and it changes everything.
I should. I don't even think I've watched it, to be honest.
It's it's a good movie. It's a little scary, I think, for kids because the animation is so dark, but that's how they did animation like in the 80s. Like it was dark, it was creepy, like the labyrinth, all that stuff. It wasn't like 80s kids were raised on much scarier animation than like
Yeah,
kids today. It's very big-eyed and pretty now.
it's very rocker generation animation back then.
Yeah, true. Back then, yeah, it was very like, oh, just scribble it together, it'll be fine. Now
Yeah,
it's
and
very
then the
pretty.
big guys started coming out with the Lion King in the '90s and the Little Mermaid and all that stuff.
Everything got cute. Yeah. So, so I would say Last Unicorn is my go-to as far as favorite movie if I have
Nice.
to pick one.
Okay, that's not bad. It's an oldie, and but goodie. I'm sure I can't confirm that because I haven't seen it.
You should just watch it. You'll just watch it. You might not like it, but
I'll
watch
give it a shot. There's been quite a few movies I've watched that I didn't like. For me, I think my favorite. I'm not gonna say so much movie, but I think I'm gonna go with genre because I love independent movies. Movies, low budget, focused on the story. Might have a big name actor, might not. It just kind of depends. But I think I love those types of movies because they're just, you have to bring it, and if you don't bring it, it might not work, the way that you want it to work. But then there's also some independent movies that don't bring it and still work. So it just, you're a hit or a miss in this kind of genre, and that's what I like because you don't know if you're ever going to get a super good one or just one that just kind of crashes and bombs.
Independent movies are almost like B films, depending on what they're, I guess, what they're about or how low
Yeah.
budget they are. But it's true, they are a hit and miss. But you can hit some
Hmm.
great ones, and then you can just be like, well, you can watch 10 and watch 2 great ones, and the other 8 will just be like, well, that was fun.
Well, I just wasted an hour of my life, an hour 30.
It's true. At least normally they're not that long, so usually it's not too big of a hit.
So going off of how the Last Unicorn made you feel, what is that, like one of the first movies that you remember seeing that had some kind of like emotional effect on you, whether you were scared, happy?
Um, so I liked that movie because there was singing in it and there was a unicorn. So I was very into unicorns as a kid. Like, do you know that scene from Dodgeball when he goes into her house and there's unicorns
Yeah.
everywhere? That was me. That was me, like all the way to 16. But I wouldn't say it was like an emotional, like where I had an actual connection to it. I just had unicorns. It was pretty and there was magic. Um, I remember. So this movie, La Bamba, when I was a kid, I'm sure like if you were a Latin kid in San Antonio, it was always on Saturday for some reason, just while the house is getting cleaned. La Bamba's playing in the background. So that movie, actually, I was, from what I remember, was the first one that had like an emotional like reaction where I'm like, oh, this is insane. He was so nice. And now he's dead and his mom is crying and his brother's like screaming. Like that was
Mhm.
insane as a kid to see. And there's a lot of adult stuff in that film that I probably shouldn't have been watching anyway.
The
But
ratings were kind of sketchy back
I
then.
remember, yeah, back then it was fine. Um, but I remember being like super upset that Richie died. So much to the fact that when Lou Diamond Phillips showed up in a Western movie like a year later, I lost my mind. At that time, I was not able to separate that Lou Diamond Phillips was not Richie
Mhm.
Valens. So like when he was in another movie, like Young Guns or something, I think it was called, with
Mhm.
Emilio Estevez, I was like, wait a second. You're supposed to be dead. What are you doing in here? And so my mom had to tell me that that's not Richie Valens. That's an actor playing Richie Valens. So that I remember being very confused about. And it happened again later with Ferris Bueller. So there's a lot of conversations reminding me that these people are actors and not, I'm not watching a reality TV show of their life.
It's funny that you say that because I used to think the same way when I was little, and it was the day that I learned about movie magic, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just how movies work and stuff like that. It was a pretty big shocker. It was like these people aren't like, this isn't just a camera following their lives,
Yeah.
like.
Like, you broke my heart, Lou Diamond Phillips. What are you doing with being in a separate movie? What's happening? Yeah, so I remember that one being an emotionally taxing, and then the fallout like a year later. Um, so yeah, what's yours? Do you have an emotional
I
movie?
think probably the first one that I remember was probably The Lion King. If I, I don't, I say that
Ooh,
and I feel like
yeah.
it's so cliche because everyone is always like, "Oh, The Lion King made you cry when you were little," and this and that, and you see all these memes about it and stuff, and like I see it and I'm like, that was true for me, like I lived that. Like I remember being so sad in the theater that Simba just lost his father, Mufasa, and it broke my little heart. I think I was only like maybe 5. I want to say 5 or 6. So it was like right in that time where it's like, if I'm
Oh,
invested in this bright, colorful movie, I'm gonna feel some kind of emotional attachment to it.
Yeah, and it started out so
Yeah, it
positive.
did.
Started out so
Music,
cute.
dancing, stuff with a sketchy brother who turned out to be a bad guy. Just I don't know. It was definitely a movie that had a big impact on me at that time.
Did you watch the
I
reimagining, the
did.
redo?
I I uh I I think the best way I can say it about whether I liked it or not was I watched a YouTube reviewer and he explained it the best because it was probably the exact same way I was feeling. I just couldn't say it. He said that the movie is what it is. They had the scripts and stuff, but the parts that aren't in the original movie were the best parts because it just they kind of went with the actors because we all know the actors who
Mm.
did the script for the first one and
Right.
stuff like that. But when the actors on the reimagining made it their own is when it kind of stood out on its own. But those parts are very skimp, I guess, in the new one.
Yeah, I only saw the new one like one time, and I guess wasn't enough to like go back and revisit it. Like I saw it because it came out, and I was like, all right, here's the new one, and then I moved on. So I guess for me, it probably wasn't that memorable. I don't even know what Beyonce was in it. Obs, oh my god, if I don't say Beyonce was in it, the hive will come for me. And who else?
Donald Glover was in it. I was kind of excited for that one.
Donald Glover. That's right. I do like him. Billy Eichner, I think, was
Seth
Timon.
Rogen was Pumbaa.
Oh, that's right. Seth Rogen was Pumbaa. Yeah, it just I guess they were hoping that it would stick out just on
Yeah.
names alone. But I guess for me, I forgot all the names except for except for Beyonce. So I guess it didn't work in for
Yeah.
me in my
I
favor.
never thought I would see the day where Disney hired a known stoner to be in their movie, not so much but be in their movie, but promote their movie when they had to do plugins and stuff like that.
Especially with all the other like movies that he's done. Let's not forget the animated
Yeah,
Sausage Party. Goodness.
that's true.
So yeah, okay. That's funny. I hadn't thought about that. That was a terrible movie. Oof.
The
Go watch
Sausage
it.
Party movie.
If you're under
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're under the age of 16 and you're listening, don't
yeah,
watch it. It's
don't at
terrible.
all ever. One, it's not that great of a movie, and two, it just ends with you wanting to
Yeah.
pull out your eyes, kind of thing. So,
I expected it to be funny, but it
nah,
wasn't that funny. Oh, Three Amigos, that's another one from my childhood.
nice.
That's a great one. I don't know why it just popped in my head.
Thinking about childhood stuff and whatnot. This is the Lion King.
Yeah,
I'm going to credit it to the Lion King.
that's what it is. It's bringing up all my childhood memories and Lou Diamond, of course.
So the last question I really have for you is, what is
Mhm.
your process for picking our B movie of the week on Mondays?
Ooh, it's actually really easy because I was doing this already before you asked me to. So here's my process. Typically on a Friday or Saturday night when I'm sitting downstairs in my living room by myself, I make a drink. I just flip through like Netflix or Amazon, but I don't flip through the rental movies. I flip through like the horror section because you watched this, and so I go through the because you
Mhm.
watched section, and then I'll pick a movie and I'll try not to watch the trailer. My husband lately is really big into not watching trailers, but I have to, so I'll watch like maybe the first 10 seconds. Like I'll give a movie trailer like 10 seconds, and if you've piqued me, I'll watch it. But in 10 seconds, if I'm just sitting there like I don't even know what this is, then I'm gonna like move on. But also sometimes it just depends on the level of drink that I have had. And I found some great movies that way, like Toxic Avenger. Have you seen Toxic Avenger
I've
from like the
actually just
80s?
heard about this
The,
movie, and I feel so ashamed about it.
oh my God. It's so great. It's like, it's great in that horrible
Mhm.
kind of way. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's amazing. So I found that one night, like a couple months ago, and I'd heard of it because it's such a big like cult following. It has a big cult following, so I'd heard the name Toxic Avenger, but I'd never seen it. And so it was like a Saturday night. We're in quarantine, right? So there's not a whole lot going on. So we watched it, and it was amazing. I've never laughed so hard in my life. And I don't know if it's one of those movies where they want you to laugh or if they don't, but like it was funny. It's a good movie. You should watch it. But that's pretty much the process. I just flip through things like because you watch Toxic Avenger, here's other movies that you should watch. And then I just go through that. And my B movies I may have mentioned are horror related, but that's just because that's my favorite genre. And that's also where you get the most B movies, if we're being honest, is in the horror genre. That's just where they're like the most
Yeah.
prevalent. Like I don't really think like a B movie for a rom com. What is that like a
Yeah.
Hallmark Channel? That's pretty
Yeah, I
much
would
what
say so. Or a Christmas
where
movie, one of the two.
Christmas movie, a Lifetime movie. If you want to watch like relationship drama, you would go to the Lifetime channel. I think those are pretty much B movies. So I think most good B movies are horror related, in my personal opinion. I think that's where the genre pretty much is, or
Yeah,
sci-fi
I would
related.
agree with that because it's low budget and trying to make that low budget dollar just last to as far as you possibly can.
Yep, and that's where you get the actors who you're like, oh, we had a casting in a
Yeah.
supermarket. You're all in. Like that's where you get
You want to be in a movie? Come here.
like your people. Yeah, come here. Like that's where you get all of your people. It's low budget. It's there was this one movie that I saw recently called The Circle, and this one takes place in just a room with a bunch of people standing in a circle for an
Wow.
hour and a half. Yeah, that's low budget. Like it's a good movie. Maybe I'll do that one next because it's a good movie. But like that's where you get them from, like sci-fi related, aliens, monsters, ghosts, demons. Those are where your good B ones are gonna lie.
Nice.
I think.
Nice. I know we all look forward to more reviews. I know I have fun making the stories on Facebook,
I love those stories.
Facebook and Instagram. Once again, if you are listening for the first time, you can find it on our Facebook and Instagram page on under the Film Vice. Every Monday we have a new B movie of the week, and for the most part, they're very awesome, very fun, and very exciting, and mainly horror. So if you're into horror,
Mainly horror. Sorry. If you're into horror or sci-fi, that's pretty much what they are. I'll try to branch out, but I don't know if I can watch a Hallmark movie. I'll do my best.
I'll get my wife to do those if you.
During Christmas, they'll come from Ariel. She'll
She's the
write all
one
the
crying
Christmas
over
movies.
here to Hallmark B movies, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
I just can't do it. Those haven't really been a
No,
thing for
no,
me.
they're cringeworthy at most. Kevin Hart just got casted in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles remake.
With Will Smith, it makes me interested to see. So I would assume, and I don't know, I haven't looked up any like information other than the statement that they're going to play, but I would assume Will Smith will be the serious one,
Mm-hmm.
the Steve Martin type, and then Kevin Hart will be the John Candy, like
Yeah.
the mess. I just don't see Will Smith
No,
as a
and
mess.
if he was, it'd probably be like Hancock type mess, like a drunk and stuff, maybe.
Oh
But
yeah,
even to that, I wasn't sold on him on that one. So
that's right. I forgot about Hancock. I thought that was going to go a whole different way.
I don't see them working well together, and I don't mean like arguing all the time or anything. I just mean like how their acting styles are, and putting them together in a movie. It just
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it will make sense to me.
yeah. I don't think I've seen them in anything together. Like if they did Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because they've already done like Get Hard together, and that's kind of already the scenario that you're like the tied up like rich dude and then the like normal guy. So I can see Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I can even see Kevin Hart and The Rock because they already
Yeah.
work together so well. But Will Smith, I don't know. I can just see him as the serious one, but hopefully also fun. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm
I don't
interested in
know.
that movie.
I guess I'll know for sure once I see a trailer. Just kind of see how things uh, go out. I wish I
Yeah.
could read the script for it and I can, see what they keep and what they don't keep and whatnot. But
Right. If it's pretty much just the name and then you just go off with whatever else you want to do. I don't know. Because that's that's another movie from childhood with John Candy and Steve Martin. My mom's a huge Steve Martin fan, so we watch like every Steve Martin movie ever. Um, so I don't know. I just don't know. Like when they said Kevin Hart, my immediate thought was Kevin Hart and The Rock, and then it was Will Smith, and I was like, oh,
Let down.
weird. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, I guess.
If you say so.
But he's probably looking for a project, something to
Maybe.
do, keep himself out of the house
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
sure he
while.
doesn't want to be there for long periods of time.
Obvious entitlement reasons. I don't know. I guess we'll see it. I need to see a trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need a
give me a
trailer.
trailer and I'll play God. I'll judgment.
I will judge you.
So, also on I think next week, Bill and Ted's supposed to come out. Bill and Ted 3. I think it's theaters and home release, if I'm not mistaken.
And home release, I think so. Oh man. While I'm very excited because we've been waiting for this movie for like 15 years. Oh, have you seen Keanu in the trailer? I love Keanu, especially lately with his John Wick movies, but he just looks so tired. Like he had the hugest bags under his eyes during this movie or trailer at least. Like in John Wick, he doesn't look this tired, but in these trailers he looks so tired. And it's so funny to see him so old and tired going, "Whoa." Like it doesn't make any sense. I'm totally going to watch it, but he just looks so tired. I don't know if you noticed that
Yeah,
or if it's just me.
what they do kind of acknowledge it in the trailer when he's like, we've been trying to write this song for years and I'm tired, dude. Like, so I think it's like it might be just part of the character for him to always look tired because he's probably just worn out.
And I'm excited that Samara Weaver is going to be in it because she's kind of an up and coming actress. I've seen her a lot in horror films, like Ready or Not or the Cheer Babysitting on Netflix, Babysitter, and she plays Ted's daughter. I always get them confused. Which one is the blonde one? Ted?
No,
Bill?
Bill. Bill. Yeah,
Bill. Bill's the blonde one. So she plays
yeah.
Bill's daughter, which I'm
It's
excited
funny because
for.
I'm excited to see Ted's daughter. I've kind of been keeping track of this actor. I don't remember her name, but she actually comes out on a movie or a show that I watched called Atypical.
Atypical. Great show. That's
Yep,
a
and
fantastic show.
she plays the sister, Bridget Lundy, hyphenated or Payne.
Okay. Yeah, I recognize her face from Atypical, but I also did not
Yeah,
know her name.
she's I don't remember seeing her in pretty much anything else before Atypical, but
She was in Atypical, and then I saw her again in Bombshell, that movie with Charlize Theron and
mm,
Margot Robbie and Nicole Kidman. She plays like an assistant or something in that movie. Um, but I think that's it. Those are only two things that I remember seeing her in.
looks like she's done some voiceover work and some other stuff, but nothing too crazy. Um, I guess kind of in the theme, you know, both of this. I mean, this movie can get both of those actresses recognized a little bit more.
And it'll bring Bill and Ted into a whole new generation. So then kids today will be like, who are these guys? And they'll have to go back and watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and
Bogus
Ted's
journey.
Other Adventure.
The bogus journey.
Something like that. They'll have to go watch the other adventures.
We're gonna have lots of adventures with these guys, which I'm actually happy about because in my infamous collection that I've talked about on this podcast many times, is that I have a lot of movies on Vudu and stuff like that, and this is actually one bundle that I'm looking forward to buying because I don't have the
Oh,
first two Bill and Ted.
yeah.
So once the third one comes out, you best believe I'm getting that bundle.
That
Yep.
bundle.
I'll,
That's right. Yeah, that would be smart for them to market
hmm
it that way. They would have to.
So we can watch all three just right after another.
Oh man. I mean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
totally gonna watch it. I'm in. I'm in. They got me. Oh, it's got Keanu. I'm in.
So I have a random question. Actually, just came up to me.
Mhm.
As someone who's rented like a at home theater experience, I guess you want to say, or if you want to go all technical on it,
Yeah.
who's rented one of those movies, like I think they're at $20 or so to rent it, and you get it for
Yeah.
48 hours.
48
Um,
hours, at least through Amazon, as I've noticed on Amazon.
once you buy it digitally, like whether it's that renting portion or well, I guess just the renting portion, do you feel like you want to buy the movie again? Like when it comes out and you're able to own it?
Um, yeah. Oh, so I rented. So this is just kind of like a little anecdote specifically about that situation. So back in March, the movie The Hunt was going to come out, and we had tickets to go, and then the whole shutdown happened, and so our tickets got canceled, and we didn't go. So the movie came out like a month later in April on that on-demand watch at home. So The Hunt is the one where it's got Hilary Swank in it, and it's a bunch of people who think they're about to get like hunted and killed by a bunch of rich people. It's got Emma Roberts in it too. So we rented it for $19.99, and we had it for 48 hours. And I messaged my whole family, because this is how I think you get the most money out of these one-day rentals, is that you tell everybody who's on your streaming service, so everybody has to watch it. So it's like you just got 16 people to watch a movie for $19. That's if you would have gone to the movie theater. So that's why if you get text messages from me, watch it. It saves me money. It
Yeah.
just makes me feel better about it. But so we watched it. I thought it was really good. And then like a month or two later, it came out for like sale where you could own the movie, and I totally bought it. So I think it just depends on the movie. So I paid the $19.99 to rent it for 48 hours, and then a month later I was able to buy it, and I did. So I think it's worth it because I watch The Hunt like all the time. Sometimes it's just on when I'm like folding laundry. But I think it also just depends on the movie. It has to be a movie that you really want to see
Yeah.
again. Out of all the movies so far that I've had to rent from being home because they're not coming out in theater, I think The Hunt is the only one that I bought, that I rented and then bought later. So I wouldn't say it's a yes for every movie, but the good ones
Yeah.
that you want to watch again, why not?
Okay.
Otherwise, I got to wait another year to 2 years before somebody picks them up, like Netflix or Amazon or
Yeah.
TNT or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the movie, but I have done it. I have rented, and then
Okay.
bought the movie.
That's always like my kind of thing. I'm like, I don't know if I want to rent it and then buy it again. But it's like that's me just thinking like in the future. Like if I buy it, I just want to buy it. I want to have it. So
Mhm.
it's just I guess that's me. And then I'm always looking at the deals on Vudu. Like I'm not the one who usually buys the newer stuff, but I'm always like going back and looking for what I call scannables. So you scan a movie for $2 and you can get 10 movies for $20. So I'm like, that's usually what I'm looking for. But
Yeah.
if I see a movie that I really want, such as Bill and Ted, I'm like, I'll spend the money on it. I don't care. But I want to be able to own it. I don't want to have to buy it again.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I think like for movies like that, especially if they come with the bundle, then yeah, why not? Get them. Or if they're movies you can just see yourself like watching again and again. But I think it depends on the movie.
Speaking of watching movies again and again, Netflix has released a shuffle feature, which I think it's just a ploy just to get people to stop watching the same stuff over and over again.
Oh, so I think you're right. So I was wondering what the shuffle feature was when I opened my Netflix today, and I clicked it, and Netflix did that little, thinky dial where it goes like 7%, 20%. I didn't know what was happening. And then it just started playing Scary Movie 5. What? Like, I think I saw Scary Movie 5 like when it came out, maybe like 8 years ago, but watched it once and never ever watched it again. So it was totally random that it just started playing Scary Movie 5. Like, I was like, what is this? So I just exited out because it was random. Like I want to close down my Netflix, go back and see if it'll play a different. It was so I don't know how they select what they're going to shuffle through. Like, what if it was a kid and just said shuffle and then Shawshank comes up? Like, I don't understand
I think
how they pick it, but that's what
I think
happened
it might go
today.
off of your like either continue watching or recently watched or watch it again kind of thing. Because I I clicked on it with mine, and then it started playing like a CSI type drama show, and I was like, I don't watch these. Like, I don't know why. But my Netflix is all messed up because my father-in-law watches stuff, and then I watch stuff, and we have two different tastes of movies, and like the Netflix account just kind of goes all over the place. So,
Yeah, that's what happens on my Amazon with
oh yeah, yeah.
cartoons.
That's my fault. It's not even my daughter's fault. It's me. I'm watching cartoon.
It's like it's like a Batman movie cartoon thing, and I'm like, "What? Oh, Paul must be watching something."
They're pretty good though. You should watch them.
And one day I'm just gonna look at it and be like, "It's this or Scary Movie 5." So,
It does cater to the kids though, because I clicked it on my daughter's Harley account, and it started playing something. I don't remember what it was, but it was kid friendly related. So I was like, all right, no, that makes me feel better.
okay. So as long as it's like on the kids' their own like private
Yeah.
Netflix thing. But yeah, it was funny. I was Scary Movie 5. They're just like, push Scary Movie 5, guys."
I think this has been like Netflix's main problem since they came about. It was just people watching the same stuff over and over again, and them trying to change it. Because at one point, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. I had when I had my PlayStation 3, and the streaming service was just starting, like it used to be just the DVDs and stuff, and then they started a streaming service that they actually would send you a CD to install it, and then once it installed, you can start streaming stuff. It was really weird at the time, anyway.
Huh.
But after a while, when that happened, I think like a couple months after or so, they started releasing this feature called Max, and Max would ask you questions depending on your mood and the questions, and he would recommend a movie at the end of it, like, oh, you should watch this movie, and he kind of give you a little description on what it is and stuff like that.
Like a little
Yeah,
streaming
kind
butler.
of. But the thing is, it's like the problem with
Huh.
that one was is that if you kept telling him no, or like you just couldn't come up with your mind, he would just kind of be like, oh well, pick something yourself then, he would just give up on you.
Well, fine. You don't like what I'm trying to feed you, just
Exactly.
forget it.
So it's, I was like, I want to see what's going to happen, if this feature is going to stay, or if it's just going to stay, yeah,
Just a
stay forever
test.
testing.
Just they'll just fade away and be like, "Just everyone just forget that we even did that. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Never happened."
Some good news, or I see it as good news, is that we're both Supernatural fans, the TV show on
Yes.
CW, and I see it as great news because so the news is that Jensen Ackles has been casted in The Boys as a character called Soldier Boy, which is like a parody of Captain America.
Yes, I saw that on his Instagram, actually. Do you follow him
I
on
do, but he doesn't
Instagram?
post very often, so I kind of miss sometimes when.
So this was like it was like a video of him and he's like, "What do I do now that Supernatural's ending?" Because Supernatural is coming up on its last season. Would have been done already, except they stopped filming because of the coronavirus. And he's like sitting there, like thinking, and then he picks up a comic book and he starts reading it, and it's The Boys. And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And then the video ends. And so that's kind of like his announcement was he did this like video, "What do I do now?" And then he got put this comic book. And so I'm super excited for because I'm excited to see him like because the CW Supernatural is a creepy show for the CW, but it's tame compared to The Boys. Like The Boys is there's blood and guts and there's
Cursing
just
and, yeah,
carnage.
all sorts of craziness.
I'm interested to see him take on a darker show that's going to allow for the cussing and the blood and the carnage and the the opportunity to just be like
Mhm.
really out there.
Yeah, I don't know much about this character Soldier Boy because I don't read the boys honestly. But from from what I saw in pictures, it looks like he is a parody of Captain America from what I read. But in the pictures, he kind of looks like a scared Captain America. So
Hmm.
what I'm looking forward to seeing, and if I'm right, I have no idea. Maybe I'll do more research and figure it out. But if he's able to play this character kind of like that one episode of Supernatural where he's just like scared of everything.
Scared. Love
Yes,
that
it's
episode.
a
Cracks me up every time.
Supernatural classic. I think it will work so great to see him like that with like a Captain America type outfit on and stuff. It would just be hilarious.
To be a little bit more, because like Dean Winchester he's cocky, you know, he's I know what I'm doing. So to see him play a character that might be a little bit more Steve Rogers, watch your language kind of stuff, yeah, that
Hmm.
would be interesting.
But
I'm
also
into
kind
it.
of like in a scared little boy type sense, like you guys better
Yeah.
listen to me, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting if that's the case to see him play a more timid role than the in your face kinda role that
Yeah.
he plays now. I'm excited about it because I was worried, you know, Supernatural's been, like, a staple for, like, 14
Mhm.
seasons already, and it's one of my favorite shows, so I was worried what was gonna happen to the boys. So, I'm happy that Jensen's got an opportunity that he's gonna be able to continue on with. Maybe, one day we can get Jensen to come to our
That'd be
show.
great.
Oh my god.
Maybe we would have to do it without, video or anything, or else you're just gonna freak out. But I mean, maybe his voice would make you freak out too. So I don't
I would totally freak out. I'll freak out.
know.
Errol's gonna be like, "I have to be there." She's just
Yeah,
gonna have to
Arrow's
be
gonna be like,
listening.
take off your headphones. Why do you have your headphones?"
Yeah, that would be
That'd be great.
amazing. If anybody knows Jensen, tell them to give us a ping, shoot me a message, DM me. I'll answer, I
In a
promise.
matter of seconds.
You're gonna have to prove that you're him. I will not be tricked again.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I mean, even Supernatural has it lets Jensen and Jared Padalecki, the two main characters in Supernatural, if anyone doesn't know, there's episodes where it kind of lets the end seasons where it might let them kind of show their range and their acting abilities and try different things and characters and whatnot. So, but it's still like they still go back to Dean and Sam, which like their character base, whether they change their characters throughout the seasons, they always go back to those original characters. But to see Jensen kind of go out of his range and do show us what he's got and that he still has it, because I don't think he's been in another movie since like My Bloody Valentine or something like that.
My Bloody Valentine, I
So
think you're
it's
right.
been a while since he's played a different character than Dean Winchester.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think The Boys season 2 comes out, I think August 31st maybe, so I'm interested to see how this season will go and then how they're going to introduce the new characters like Soldier Boy. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
So something I did recently was I went back and I watched Gladiator for some odd reason. I don't know why. It was there and I was like, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'll watch it.
Was it Netflix
No.
Shuffle?
This is a voodoo shuffle. I just close my eyes and pick a title. But it reminded me that of how much I kind of like Russell Crowe, and for me, he's pretty much my our actor spotlight of the week.
Good
Yeah,
old
Russell
Russie.
Crowe, and you can add Joaquin
Listen.
Phoenix in there too if you want, because it's those once again those memes are back, and they're like, Joaquin Phoenix from the Joker. When I met him, he was a Caesar or whatever.
He was this skinny little whiny Caesar kid that just oh, he was so
Yeah,
annoying in
but
that
in a
movie.
good way.
He was like
Yeah, at least I think so. Anyway,
I mean, he played the role really well because I think the point was to make sure that
yeah,
you hated him. And I think he did well.
very.
'Cause I
He
hated him.
seems like an easy guy to hate,
Like,
though.
God,
Like if you really try.
yeah, you're just really into it. You're like, "Ah, I hate that guy."
But I wanted to focus a little bit more on Russell Crowe because He does have a new movie that's out or coming out. It's either in theaters or at home release right now.
Oh, yes, the road rage
It's
one,
Unhinged. Yeah.
Unhinged.
So
I've only seen pieces of the trailer, like, I haven't actually watched the trailer in its entirety, but from what I understand, he's a road rage guy, um, and he like, a lady cuts him off or something, and instead of letting it go, like, a
mhm.
normal, he chases her down and acts like a crazy person, much like you see in the streets of Austin out here, but from what I understand, it gets super intense. Intense enough to have a whole hour and a half, 30
Yeah.
minute movie about it.
I'm wondering like because I saw the trailer and I was like, all right, this is a road rage movie. That's cool and blah blah blah. But like the first part of it doesn't have me sold, where he's like, looking at his ring and he's like, I can't figure out if if
Like, if there's something
yeah,
going
because I'm like,
on.
how long can a chase really go with these people without having some kind of story going on with it? Like, is he doing it because he has to? Is he doing it because he's got nothing else to lose? Or like, I feel like there's something more to this story than just him having road rage. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
It makes me wonder, like, was he in the car? He's angry, obviously, because, like, somebody cut him off, but why are you that angry? Like, what happened? Did you just get fired? Did your wife just leave you? Did you just leave the courthouse after finalizing your divorce? Like, there's so many things I don't know, and I'm sure we'll learn them in the film, or we don't. Like, what if there's no reason? Because some people out there, there's literally no reason. I am interested in a Kurt Russell movie, though. I feel like it's been a while. When was the last Kurt
I
Russell
would say
movie?
probably like Les Mis that I really, really remember him in, but I think the nice guys maybe.
Oh, that's right, with,
Ryan
oh
Gosling.
gosh, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that's that movie I actually liked a lot. Than I didn't think I was going to. For
Okay, so that movie I haven't seen because I think I'm not gonna like it.
it's actually way better than you think it will be. Because I mean, honestly, like this, like what the story is about is kind of like I mean, don't watch it with kids or anything because I mean, I think it's rated R, but um, it's like they're two detectives and they're trying to find someone, but the someone that they're finding, like their job, what they entail. I don't want to spoil it for you. The job that person entails is kind of like questionable, and it makes things harder for them. So it's a kind of like a buddy comedy movie as well because they're both pretty funny in it in their own ways. But it is way better than what I gave it credit for. Like so much to the point that I rewatch it every now and then just to kind of remind myself that Ryan Gosling's kind of funny sometimes. So
Maybe I'll watch it. I know that my husband Greg has been wanting to watch it, and I'm just like, that doesn't look that good,"
if
but maybe
if
I'll go ahead
anything,
and watch
Ryan
it.
Gosling alone is the main reason to watch it because it's not so much on looks or anything, but like just how funny he is in the movie.
Sure,
He's hilarious.
if you say so.
And I mean, if that's what you want to think, that's what you want to think. I'm not gonna say no to
Sure, I won't tell Ariel.
that. Arrow would probably be like, you couldn't get him if you wanted.
He's like, "Keep dreaming, Paul."
I can try a woman.
But yes, so Unhinged, I just looked it up, it actually comes out tomorrow. I wonder if they're gonna do like, the home release too, because if not, if they are, get ready, Paul. You might have to clock in and help me save some money by
Sounds
watching
good
it.
for me. I am happy to do so. That movie, it seems good. It's nice to see Russell Crowe go back to like some kind of violent nature, where he can show off some skills.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be showing off the gladiator type skills. He's a bit heavier in this movie, but I think it's the point. I think the point is that he's just like a pissed off dude in his
Yeah,
truck.
which I guess is as lazy as Russell Crowe can possibly be. He just
Yeah, pissed off guy in his
he's like, I got my Oscar already. I don't need to impress nobody.
Yeah, that's true. I'd be like, "Oh, well, I'll make this movie. Why not? I got nothing else to do."
I got time.
So hopefully it'll go well. Comes out tomorrow. We can watch it and then we can
Yes,
discuss what we
yes.
like about it. I do like when people
Yeah,
get
I'm
crazy.
pretty sure. I'm like at least 70% sure that there's something, because even in the trailer it was like they showed pretty much just the action portion of it. It's like they didn't, besides him saying, "Oh, well, you should say sorry" or whatever, is really the only thing they give you to the story. So it's like, what else is going on?
Oh, that's right. He tells that
You
lady's
know,
kid. She's like, "Don't talk to my kid." Classic response.
that she could have rolled up the window at least or something. But
I know. I don't. I wouldn't even talk. I'd be like, oh, "I'm good, man. Windows rolled up. Be mad by yourself." So I guess that's the problem
yeah.
because then he goes crazy. Always apologize to Russell Crowe, guys. That is the theme.
Have you heard that song? It's like the night I punched Russell Crowe in the face or something. The night I punched Russell Crowe.
No.
It's a legit song. I gotta look it up. I'll send you the link to it. But it's let me find the artist for anyone that's listening, because this song is great. And I don't think I think I saw something where they were asking Russell Crowe if he's heard the song or not, but I don't I don't remember what his response to it was.
That's amazing. Yeah, I want to know the link.
It's
I'm
The
interested.
Night I Punched Russell Crowe. It's a song by Gaelic Storm. If For our listeners there, if they want to look it up, it is a great song, and it's pretty funny too.
Is it a parody song or
It's
like a
like a
legit song?
legit song, because like the rhythm doesn't follow anything, but it does sound like an Irish tune. So it has like that Irish
Okay.
melody to it, but it's like, their own complete song. So it's a really good song. It's funny.
So for today's actor spotlight, Russell Crowe, make sure you listen to "The Night I Punched Russell Crowe" in honor of his upcoming film Unhinged.
Do it for the crow.
Perfect. That couldn't have worked out better if we'd have planned.
Thanks everybody for listening on the Film Vice. I am your host Paul, and Adri, would you like to say anything else before?
Hi. Yes, thanks for listening. Thanks for having me. I am your B movie critic and guest of Paul. My name is Adri, and I hope you guys found me kind of entertaining.
Thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Film Vice. We do appreciate you. Please remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at the Film Vice. If you have any questions, topics, or anything like that, feel free to hit us up on any of those social media platforms. I do tend to respond to you guys pretty quickly. Until the meantime, please keep a lookout for our new episodes. And once again, thanks for listening.